and welcome to another exciting but informative episode of Enterprise Weekend, reaching you from Enterprise Television. This is that time of the week when we unwind and interestingly take a look at soft stories, a little bit out of the hard news that we have been used to right here on Enterprise Television. I am Henry Ikwebike. And today we will be, of course, starting with our newspapers, and right after that will be our main conversational. So for today, please do well to be part of what we do. Have a say in what we say. You can always find and reach us at EnterpriseTVNews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. We're very so honored to have with us right here in our studios from Lagos State, Nigeria, David Ikojo, a youth advocate. Coordinator. Thank you so very much, David, for being here.
It's nice to be on the set again.
Thank you so very much. It's been a while that we had you on this particular set. How has it been with you? And what have you been up to?
It's not been well, though.
Really?
A little away at the brinks where fuel is going to go up again.
Okay.
Every day by day. I won't say the country is getting worse, but things are getting harder. But
how do you think the youth in Nigeria? You are a coordinator of an advocacy group concerned with the youth in Nigeria. How are Nigerian youths feeling right about now? Are they disappointed?
Disappointed is not a good word for it. It's falls short. Everybody is finding a way to run out of the country. Country is bad. We better face. Forgive me for this statement, but a lot of us feel like it's better we face racism out there than to be here where we don't even know our left from our right.
Yeah, because it's actually so unfortunate that many decades ago, in the 70s, those who were in charge of, or who are still in charge of politics and economy in Nigeria, back in the days, they had all the opportunities, to go to school for free. Right, they could get everything they need, but right now, rather than them providing all of that for the current youths that we have, we don't see any of that. Do you think that running away out of Nigeria is the best bet?
Running away is not the best bet, but it's the best option we have. So the best option is for the country to sit back and check what they can do to make it easier for all of us. First, we've heard of 5,000 jobs till today. We've not heard anything about it. They said they'll give us 5,000 jobs at the time we came up in the news. And we've not seen anything on that right now. And if you check the statistics, every year we have nothing less than 3,000 to 10,000 youths coming out of university. And it's an economy that is not working. They keep saying there is no land. But if you travel across Osun State, Ogun State, before you even move into Oyo and start going down into the middle of the country, you see land unused. These are places where we could make up our mind to start up a company. I know the saying is, okay, a company cannot be run by the government. It has to be run by private. But if the government stands and said, we want to run this, let's build a company, all the money that's, we don't know where the money is going into. I keep saying this thing, AFCC keeps recovering money. We don't know where the money is going to. So exactly all the billions and millions that we grab from here, we grab from there, where is the money going to?
Well, AFCC said
there is no accountability of where the money is going to.
Well, a little bit of that it goes to NEL Fund. It had actually contributed about 50 billion.
Even this NEL Fund, the structure is not so strong. I'm pretty sure a good number of people who are getting money from this NEL Fund are people who are not supposed to.
Okay, people who do not need the money.
Yes.
Are those who eventually get the money.
As far as you are just in an institution where you can get a hold of it, even if your school fees is paid, you can still get a hold of it.
That's a very big one. But just before we get into the newspapers, I'd love you to maybe speak to this issue because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had said he would make agriculture sexy for Nigerian youths. So does that mean that it's possible that youths might, as a result of that adjective he used, sexy, possibly go to or think agriculture rather than social media and all the money that's being made on social media?
Again, to think agriculture right now is that, well, it is lucrative in a way that prices of food now is cost. And I keep saying that food that people would plant here in Lagos, plant in Ogun State, plant in Osun State, they will charge you money for trailer that do not bring food from the north.
Okay.
So if you plant a tube of yam 5,000 naira now, how long does it take to plant yam? By the end of the year, you will see yam, and you sell it for the price of someone who is bringing it all the way from the north, which is wrong. So if you actually want to, it's extortion by the way, but if you want to put your mind down into this agriculture of a thing, it's going to take a lot, because land, one, is expensive. To make in the statement agriculture sexy, land has to come down a very good amount, because people are running into real estate now. Right?
Almost every parcel of land now is converted to real estate.
We need to make a law that land that you are buying, if you are not putting something on top, you cannot keep it. Because by the time the money appreciates to more than 5 times what you buy last year 300, this year you want to sell 10 million naira. It's getting out of hand. Everybody's in as an opportunity to make money, right? Well, it's good investment. But I'm saying that right now what we need is those lands that are being kept, an acre will be kept for no good reason. We will now be selling it later on for a very huge amount.
Price.
If we can use that acre now to start farming, you know the amount of produce that can be made out of that serve a lot.
Very true, because I thought about it while I was coming to work today, how that the proliferation of real estate in Nigeria is debasing so much. You know, lots of lands right now in different villages are taken over by real estate developers. And rather than have those lands earmarked for farming, we keep them hoping that it would one day turn to a city, you know, and people buy them very expensive. But that's just a little bit of, what we have. But let's get into our newspapers for today. We're starting from the Saturday Punch newspaper. Litany of interesting stories here. Let's start with this other issue. Rape. Speed Darlington kicks as Naptip declares singer wanted. David Ikojo, what have you got to say about it? It was yesterday I actually saw it. Naptip had this wanted on Speed Darlington. Remember, he had allegedly said he did something funny on a 15-year-old girl. And rather than apologize for it, he came up again and said he is an artist and he wanted to promote his album. So what is the connection? If we draw the dots, does it really make any sense?
That is one very wrong to say of him. And yeah, I saw the video too. I saw the videos that he made and things that he said. And I think as of that point, they should have picked him up.
Oh, okay.
For allegedly, for saying that yes, he did this. And that means he already indicted himself that yes, I did this. And this is the reason why I did it. It's not just rape. He did it on a minor. Yeah. That's a pedophile. So they should have locked him up then. And what resources does he have that he's running away that we cannot catch him? Where has he gone that we cannot find him? He's somewhere. I don't think they're putting in much effort to get him. This is like a sideline story, just for people to see that the government is doing something or something is being done about it. I don't think anything is being done about it at all.
But he has a point, actually, when he juxtaposed what happens in the south of Nigeria and what happens in the north. And when he was being looked for, he said that the same thing. The same thing if it were to happen in Zamfara. Nobody will go after the governor who gets married to a 12-year-old.
See, the governor gets married to a 12-year-old. Yes. It's a legal thing there. It's
legal.
Getting married there now. The marriage certificate makes legal.
But when we come to that's pedophilia.
I know.
So we shouldn't allow culture.
I'm not going to justify what they do. They say it happens in the north.
Yes.
I've not seen any. They say it happens in the north. Let's not just jump into conclusion that these 12-year-olds that they are marrying, they are going to jump them on the bed immediately.
But what do you think might likely happen? Come on, you don't put a goat with a yam in the same place and expect the goat to sing songs for the yam. It's not possible.
Let's not conclude.
Okay.
And that should not be a point of contact for him to say that what he did is justifiable.
Okay.
Well, when this video came up was then that we should have tackled this issue, not now that he has a chance to run into hiding.
Yeah, and he's even an American actually. He's a citizen of America.
Even in America, that is a very serious offense. I even saw one, I think we will get there. I'm not going to mention it, but I saw something in the newspaper. Maybe I'll mention it later.
Okay.
But this thing that happened, if he's in America, we can get them to deport him back to Nigeria.
Well.
So there is no place that he's hidden that we cannot find him. I just think that this is just for people to hear that something is being done, but nothing really being done about it.
All right, so let's just hope that NAPTIP, would do the right thing. The only sad thing, where I think NAPTIP is not doing a good enough job, it added rape, cyberbullying, and cyber stalking alongside the charges. And I asked myself, what was the business of NAPTIP with cyber stalking?
Rape was enough.
And the rape was just enough, and pedophilia too was enough to get him. And I guess they should, fight their battle and leave others to other agencies. But let's take a look at other matters here. Deadly jealousy, blood, bruises as ladies fight dirty over men. David, you and I know too very well that the number of women in Nigeria is in geometric progression as against the population of young men. And to add to it, our young men that are very handsome, great people are being sent to die in different parts of the country as a result of bandits and all. Because every time you hear bandit killing soldiers, it's men. So don't you think there's nothing really that concerning if women fight over men?
It's concerning that women have brought themselves low to fight over men. After all the feminism talk, after all the active equality statement, oh, now hear that women are fighting over men. It's very bad. It's a very bad image.
It's a very bad image.
Yeah, truthfully, there is no reason to fight.
Really?
Let him decide who he wants to be with. There's no reason to fight.
So when you say that, when a woman, says that 6 feet, a chocolate brown,
let him decide.
And all that, and while she has invested all the time and the resources making this 6 feet chocolate brown guy see her, and one girl comes from the corner, don't you think that's a good enough reason to fight?
No good enough reason. I keep telling people, relationship is not an investment.
It's not a what?
It's not an investment.
Oh, okay. Relationship is not an investment.
It's not an investment.
Really?
Yeah, relationship is not an investment.
So you mean culturing a relationship that you hope would end in marriage? It's not an investment.
It's not an investment. Everything you do in that relationship, you should have at the back of your mind that it will blow up. It can blow up.
Really?
Something can happen and you guys might not be compatible.
So don't you think it could be the reason of the man not doing good enough a job? Yes. Of maintaining his investment.
If you are with a lady, let's make men the victim. If you are with a lady and you invest in her, she goes through school, and along the line she finds out that there are certain traits you have that she cannot cope with. She's left with two choices. Either she's going to have no choice but to cope with them because of your investment, or she's going to blow away the investment and walk away. Now, if a lady goes to a guy, has been talking to this guy, and the guy sees another lady, and he says, okay, this lady I would prefer, and he goes for that lady, there's no reason for the lady to fight.
Really?
Because it's his choice. This is just a demeaning situation here where ladies are looking down on themselves, not even the lady that they are fighting.
Do you truly care about the emotion of women?
I do.
When they invest their emotion. Now, it might really not be something that we can hold on to, but it's big in their hearts. When they find someone that they truly do care about, they invest their emotion in it. And because men are so very callous, they feel there's nothing in it. So don't you think that emotion should be protected?
I know
by all means.
Protected, but two situations here. This person, you are dating this person, right?
Yeah.
And this person sees another person, and this person decides he's going for the other person. Not only has that person shown that he cannot commit, because you guys have decided that we're going to be in this relationship, we're going to see how it's going to work out for me. I would say if the relationship is not working out, walk out of the relationship. Let it be on the basis of we sit down and we discuss, and I tell you why this relationship is not going to work for me, instead of seeing someone out there. You're in a relationship, you're not supposed to be looking outside. So if this person is looking outside, this person is definitely saying that he cannot be committed if he has commitment issues. Staying, that kind of person now, if he gets married and he sees someone out there, there's a 50% chance that he's either going to cheat or he's going to leave this marriage and jump into another one. So that person should not even be settled with anybody. That person should be on their own. So if as a lady, you've committed your time into a relationship, you should be, how should I put this statement for it to make sense? You should have enough pride to know that you should be treated better. This person should not be looking outside. If this person looks outside and sees another person that he wants to be with, and 80% of the time it's just infatuation, there are no feelings. You just
from who?
From the man. Person, from the man, yeah. He just sees another lady.
Okay.
And he says, oh, this other lady, she's treating me better. Maybe these are things your girl is doing for you already. But because it's a new person, because it's a new feeling, because you're not used to this feeling already or from this person, you feel like, oh, this person will treat you better. 80% of the time, the person you leave that has been with you will treat you better than the person you are going to meet. You start looking for traits of the person you left in the person that you are with. So it is better you stay in a relationship where we know each other. We know our downfalls and we know our ups. We know our mountains and our valleys. This is where we will now come together and smoothen the lands to be straight instead of from here to here. But in a situation where we're not in a relationship, I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, I see another person and I feel like this other person would do me better. Obviously, I'm free to move to the other person. There's no reason for you to fight there.
Really? I'm actually trying to get this word. It just escaped my mind. That's a relationship where both partners are allowed to go around.
Or open relationship.
Not open relationship. There's this word. It's the relationship between.
Situationship.
No, it's the relationship between Will Smith and the wife, where they were all permitted. They had agreed on themselves that, hey, you can go and have your fun, but come back to me when you're done.
Nice.
All right. So if for instance you're dating two people, one makes you laugh, while the other one cooks a better meal, so you can date both of them together. So you are of that open relationship.
I'm not of that open relationship at all. I don't believe in dating two people at a time.
Okay.
So if you are with someone, you should be committed to that person. If you know that, again, forgive me, as a young man, if you are going to the market and you are going to look for a wife, write out a list of things you want your wife to be able to do for you.
Okay, so like the checkbox or something.
Yeah, a checkbox. Now there are pros and there are cons. If she can cook and she cannot do this, are you willing to let go of this for the food that she can cook? If you have your qualities all listed out and she checks 8 out of 10 and the remaining 2 that she does not check, you can make do with it.
Okay.
Fine, you can walk into the relationship. But if she's not checking any of your lists, then there's no point in being in the relationship at all. Because for those 2 ladies that you are keeping, one that can cook and one that can do something else, one that can make you laugh and one that can cook, there is someone out there that can cook and make you laugh. You just have to find,
Well, the truth of the matter is, there's this English word called utopia. That is, it means that no one is perfect, right? Perfection is really not true. So it means you would always find as humans, so people, who do not have everything. But just before we move to another story, this is just, you have the choice not to respond to the question if you want to. Have you ever seen yourself in a situation where more than 2 ladies are running after you? And how have you been able to solve the problem? How did you solve it?
Personal question.
Yes, please do.
Well, yes, I have.
Okay, so how did you get out of it?
I made my choice.
You made your choice on a particular one you needed.
Yeah.
So did you have to apologize to the other one you didn't?
I did not.
You did not?
I did not have to apologize. It was my choice.
And do you know how well that other person is faring right now?
I know how well that other person took it. It wasn't so well, but at least she got out of it.
She got out of it with pain.
Yeah, I see. No, the thing is, I've always said this. Just because I'm nice to you, doesn't mean I want to date you.
That you invested in the person.
Exactly. Just because I invited you over, doesn't mean I want anything to do with you.
Okay.
As far as it's not stated in the conversations we've had, that I like you, you like me, let's see how it goes. In my own mind, you are just my friend. We are just mutual. We are just talking to each other. We just have time in our hands for us to talk. And that's all. If you are thinking otherwise, and you cannot measure your otherwise, and for me to shoot it down or something. Yeah.
Well, more like friends with benefits. Isn't it?
Not over
Not like that.
Just friends.
All right. So let's now take a look at other matters here. Ogun final year student commits suicide after suspension for exam malpractice. Now, it's too evil at the same time. He committed 2 crimes at the same time. He was involved in malpractice, malpractice. He was caught, and rather than maybe, blame himself, he went to commit suicide.
That's cowardice.
That's
cowardice. That's plain cowardice, because you walk into an exam hall with a chip. Okay. You should know the consequences of walking into an exam hall with a chip. Highest that will happen, like they say, is expulsion, which is a very rare situation of when you've been caught once or twice. If you are caught once and you're given suspension, better thing to do is to either find a way to appeal for it, or stay your suspension time. Jumping into the conclusion of going to meet your Lord and Savior is not it.
All right, just before we leave, if we have the time in 90 seconds, if you may, border policemen raped horse en route to Libya, and that's returnee. That's Nigerian ladies who are very desperate, traveling out of the country. Most of them end up in Italy and other European countries, and most of the time, if they tell you what to go through, some of them is sexual abuse and all that. So the question is, David, do you think it is worth it, really, to leave the country, especially for ladies, knowing all the very dangerous part that they might meet?
I don't like that question.
Which of the part is it you don't like? It is worth it to leave.
Yes, to leave.
Even via wrong routes.
In the statement, I would say it is worth it to take the risk.
To take the risk.
But what happened to them was not. They didn't deserve that.
Okay.
Because people should be human enough to know that a condition hand could touch you. You have no choice but to leave. You have no choice but to take that risk. Now, putting those people who already have no choice but to live in a condition where you will have to take something from them, you will have to physically abuse them, you need something you will gain from someone who has nothing to give. It's a very wrong situation. It's not a question of if it's better to live. It's a question of what really has dehumanized those people enough to see people who have no choice but to leave the country, and the best thing they could do is rape them.
But it's a choice from the very beginning to look at the cause and the effect and tell yourself, these are the possibilities, and therefore let me remain in Nigeria and make do what I have, possibly. Let's
say I want to leave the country. As a guy, I'm not even going to say as a lady. I have no means to live legally, and I have to leave the country. I'm going to be running past the border. I'm going to find a way to live, right? Let's say we get to a part where they find out that people on this transport are not legally permitted to leave the country. And the best thing to do is not even to shoot at that situation. Humanly speaking, the best thing to do is not to shoot. The best thing to do is to either run, follow and catch, or you notify the country that are running into that, okay, so and so people with so and so description has just entered into a country in this area, source them out and bring them back. So it is not that this person has decided to take a risk. These are the chances that this person is going to come back. The person already knows that it is a very slim chance for me to make it there. I'm just going to see if the land is going to be better. So now this person has decided to take that risk of leaving the country illegally. It's not justifiable that you rape the person, you shoot the person down. There are other means there are other things that could have been done that this person would have been repulsed back to the country as fast as possible. Like if you squeeze into a box and they put you in a plane and you land in America, and by some miracle they don't find you in the airport, and you start roaming free in the country, obviously they are going to catch you because you have no place to go. You have no funds, you have nothing, and let's say you fall into the hands of someone who's kind and they decide to keep you. Fine. Now you fall into the wrong hands, which is not of your situation, and the person reports you to the police. You get deported immediately. Is that not it?
Very sure.
There is no reason for the people in America then now to keep this person jailed up, or beat this person to death, or shoot this person to death. They have more human emotions for them to be able to, okay, go back to your country. they will notify your country that this person now came here illegally, and maybe they will even they will source out, do their investigation, source out how you got to the country, or you tell them how you got to the country, and they will not shoot you down, they will not jail you, they will not do anything wrong to you. They will just, okay, send you back to your country. Is that not it? So those ladies who are running out of the country, there is a 50% chance that when they get to wherever they are getting to, they might fall into the wrong hands. They might fall into the mafia. They might fall into people like Boko Haram. Fall into these people's hands.
Drug addicts and all.
And everything. Or hunger to wipe them out. Yeah, they could get deported back. There is no reason for such thing to happen to them. En route living. So me, I'm not questioning. Yes, their actions are questionable, right, for living illegally. Yeah. But what I am going to question out of that situation is the people who raped them. Is it that they have no conscience? So if it will even be better that you report them to the authorities and pull them back. Let's see what can be done for these people, or let's see the kind of jobs that they can be doing and to make a living for themselves, instead of doing something so close to them.
Very, very true. Of course, we do not, this is actually a very sensitive topic and story that we had to talk and stay with, and it's so very unfortunate that we're talking about this, because in other parts of the world, let's even start with Africa, countries like South Africa, Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, their citizens don't go through all of this hell, just for them to survive basics that the government should provide. But because we do not have intentional leadership, you see brain drain. Some of the best that we have in Nigeria going through Herculean tasks just to get themselves out of the country, and some of them get abused in the process. I would love to believe that things should be done better, and possibly we have leaders that would make Nigeria a better place, where Nigerians would love to stay back rather than take the hard route to get it done. And just to let you know, David would still be here to take us on our main conversation. That is when we return. TV tradition maligned. That in a bit still Enterprise Weekend. Please don't go anywhere. For joining us, and this is still Enterprise Weekend, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's have our conversation for today. There is a harmful and false narrative suggesting that thief men from Benue State offer their wives to guests as a gesture of hospitality. This claim, rooted in ignorance and mischief, grossly misrepresents thief culture and values. Thief hospitality is generous, expressed through food, warmth, and open-heartedness, not promiscuity. A thief man may offer his best wine, his prized yam, or his home's comfort to a guest, but never his wife. The bedroom is not part of the welcome. It is sacred. To mistake generosity for invitation is to misunderstand both the culture and the man. This offensive myth was recently echoed by Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, who wrongly suggested that thief people not only harbor terrorists but offer their women to them. Instead of addressing the serious failures in national security, he chose to scapegoat an entire ethnic group with a tired lie. His comments not only insult the thief but deflect from his duty and failure to protect the lives of innocent Nigerians. While he sought sympathy over a denied visa to Canada, he remained silent on the bloodshed in Benue, Taraba, and even his own southern Kaduna. His misplaced priorities and public posturing do little to defend the nation he was appointed to protect. Thief culture upholds marriage with deep respect and reverence. While it permits polygamy, it never permits adultery or wife sharing. Tradition strictly penalizes infidelity, and any claim to the contrary is baseless. That such falsehood are even taught in schools, of course, alarming and damaging to both cultural and understanding of national unity. No thief man in truth or tradition ever gave his wife to a stranger and called it hospitality. That's all we have for this reportage, and let's get talking. David Ikojo is here with me. Thank you so very much, David, for hanging on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, this is a bold misconception that people have had, especially as made possible by the CDS, Chief of Defense Staff or Personality, Christopher Musa, who said while he was addressing the people of Benue that the people harbored criminals, and not just harboring them, but give away their wives and their daughters, for the pleasure of these bandits. Of course, that is how the thief people have seen it. But let's take a look at generosity and tolerance in Nigeria and the culture that we have. How well do you think we have done this? Do you think we overdo some of these things?
I understand your question, Mr. Henry.
Yes.
But before we dive straight into the answering that question,
Yeah.
I want to make something known out there.
Please do.
About this thief thing.
Yeah.
It's a culture. It's part of their culture.
True.
And the thing is called kwase-kem.
Okay.
Right? But
which means what?
It's wife hospitality.
Oh, wife hospitality.
Yes. And it's to show the highest respect and honor you have for your guests. This, let me give you context.
Okay.
I like context. Let me give you context. Now, you have a visitor over, but this visitor is a very serious matter, right? Now, the thief wife is not supposed to be directly in that conversation. She is in charge of the hospitality, making the home feel comfortable for the guests, bringing in the food, cooking, serving the guests. Okay, do you need water? All those kind of stuff. Those are the kind of interactions she would have with that kind of guest.
Which is normal.
Which is a normal thing in every household.
Yes, yeah.
Now, for this kwase-kem, now this person that is coming in as your guest is a trusted friend. Is a trusted person that this person can converse freely with your wife.
Okay.
That's the situation.
Okay.
That brings in kwase-kem. Like, let's say I get married, and I get married to a thief woman.
Okay.
She knows that when I have friends over, she has no business with them. All she will do is make home comfortable for them. If they come with their wives, their girlfriends, and everything, they can also have their time there and gist and everything. But in the space of the living room where the men are sitting, maybe what she can do is sit and listen, speak with her husband, drop in a few comments in the conversation, but not have a personal conversation with the guest.
Yes.
Kwase-kem allows this relationship to move up a little. Like, if I have my best friend over, obviously she should have a seemingly good relationship with my wife. my best friend and my wife should have a seemingly good relationship where they can speak to one another. So if
laugh and have that fun time.
That's what Kasekem does. Okay. It's not saying that you offer your wife for anything immoral. It's just the wife has, and she can also turn it down. She just has the opportunity to speak freely with the guests. Now you can be in the sitting room with them while they talk about one or two things, or you cannot be there in your absence. You can speak with the guest. She can sit in the parlor. Peradventure, you have a normal guest come home where this person is not a regular person. We don't know this person. The person might just have to come and sit in the parlor alone. She might not be there. All she will do is offer him this, offer him that, and tell him, okay, maybe he should come back so and so time when the man of the house is around. That's just Kwasegem just bridges that gap. That there is a guest you trust, a guest you respect, a guest you are willing to honor with the company of your wife, not with that the guest and your wife will do anything out of picture. Now, to the question that you asked, are Nigerians really hospitable? No.
They are not.
I won't say so. Because as of the time when Nigeria was hospitable, I was still a child.
Okay.
Right now, if you walk, let's say you visit a household, there's a 50% chance where they won't welcome you in.
Because of the economy or what?
Yes, because of how the economy is. Because not even just economy. Let's say we all just believe that everybody's a bad person now.
Are you sure that's a misconception, or is it because
that's a misconception?
Okay.
Yes, there's this relationship people who live in the community used to have. That if I see your child doing something wrong, I am able to discipline your child and bring your child to you that this is what your child did. As of now, if you see your neighbor's child doing something wrong, I don't think anybody says anything about that. We just let the child do whatever the child wants to do. And even if you try to say something to the child and the parent comes in and see you recording the child, they will shout at you for recording their child for them. Yeah. So if it comes to hospitality, I've said the hospitality in Nigeria has dropped a good amount.
Well, lots of people might not agree with you to some extent. It is still here nor there. Maybe because of security issues and all. People are not so comfortable about people, even your own bloodline. You know, sometimes when your bloodline comes around, you want to, do the big brother eye thing, and ensuring that you see where he goes, ensuring that your kid, especially the girl child, is safe with your brother and all of that. So it's really a matter of security for the home and all. But let's take a look at stereotypes and all, because what we have on the TV people is stereotyping them to a particular misconception that people have, had to run with. But let's take a look at other cultures in Nigeria. Let's say the Ijebu people of Ogun State, for instance. There's this stereotype around them that they are very stingy. And people have taken that home. So whenever you have whatever with an Ijebu man, already you make up your mind that this man will be very stingy. And when a woman gets married to an Ijebu man, she's already believing in her heart that she's going to suffer in this marriage, because the man would use tape to measure yam and all. So do you really think this stereotyping thing is real, number one? And how can we possibly get out of it rather than throwing a blanket on everybody?
This stereotyping thing, like for the TV people now, it came out of misconception.
Yes.
Right? That people didn't really understand what that wife hospitality was. And let's say westernization came in and they gave it a whole wrong context and pushed it out there. That what might have happened, right? For this stereotype, you can never wash away a stereotype. When certain people are known for something, they are going to keep being known for that thing, unless we all make a movement to say, okay, Ijebu people are not stingy. You guys just think Ijebu people are stingy. But that just gives them a characteristic that 80% of these people are stingy, small and not stingy. I don't particularly believe in stereotyping. Okay. I believe in people. Okay. If an Igbo person treats me this way, it is that person, not the Igbo culture that treats. Okay. Let's say they have things in their culture that, okay, you have to do this for, let's say if you cheat someone, if you cheat someone money, if an Igbo person cheats someone money, now, it's not an Igbo culture to cheat people of their money. Yeah. It is just that person that cheated you of your money. So that person is the bad character. It's the person that has the bad character, not the Igbo people. Because if you stereotype that all Igbo people will cheat you of money, you will go out with the mindset of anything. Every time you are going to have relations with an able person that concerns money, you are going to have to be putting an extra eye because of the insecurity, and you are going to now have trust issues. It's wrong to stereotype, actually. And 80% of those stereotypes that come up is the 90s. That's, okay, we had interactions with this set of people, and I don't think Ijebu people are stingy to themselves. They just have the best interest of their people at heart. I don't think they are stingy, because I've met Ijebu people, and when you are their person, if someone out there is trying to cheat you, they will come and fight for you. If someone out there is trying to do one, or they have the best interest of their people at heart. It's not that they are. Maybe a community wanted to interact with an Ijebu community, and the Ijebu community proves to be stingy. Maybe because what these people are offering is going to either one way be detrimental to their own people. So instead of letting these people come and ride over them, they decided, oh, we're not going to let this happen.
But overall, there's nothing wrong about being stingy. It's rather you being a better economist. You know how to manage things. You understand? So rather than being wasteful, rather than being wasteful and going home with this profligacy of spending money as much as you can. So there's nothing wrong in it.
So this stereotype, not all are bad. Not all stereotypes are bad. We just use the word stereotype for the bad ones. But Ijebu people are known for that stuff. You know that as much as they are stingy, their gari is good.
Ijebu gari.
Their gari is good. So you cannot say not all stereotypes are bad. It's fine to stereotype, you get, but it's also bad that the stereotype you are having in your mind it stems from just a single interaction or one or two interactions you've had with a certain people from a certain community. It could be that the behavior or characteristic you saw from this person stems from just their family alone. It might not just be a community thing, and you just take it to your heart that, oh, all of the outside people are bad because of the little thing the outside person did to you.
So very, very true, and I'm very so excited actually that the Ijebu community have rebranded themselves, especially with the festival Ijebu Day or whatever it is. What's the name of that Ijebu Oba festival? That is that's all around town now, and people are celebrating it. But let's take a look at other communities, and because what we're trying to do rather on this particular program is using TV as a reference point to disabuse the minds of people on stereotyping of cultures, of ethnicity, of religion, and all of that. So that's basically what we're doing. So in case we mention typical textbook stereotyping of a particular region, it's not actually, we're not doing that to debase that culture or that place. We're just using that to clarify how that we should throw that out of the window. Now, if you come to Imo State, for example, there are people who call the Mbise people, and there's this stereotyping too, of the people. It was actually made possible by a folktale, a singer who said that if you see an Mbise man and you see a snake, you should kill the snake. You should kill the Mbise man before killing the snake. And why is he saying that? He had a business, all right, with an Mbise man. And the Mbise man, just like you did say, is supposed to be a personal thing, tricked him, all right? And he generalized it. Now, I love us to talk to, because we are in the new era of social media and proliferation of story. Once something gets out of the media, even if it's true or false, everybody takes that home. Now, how do we curb the issue of social media information that goes viral, even when those things are not don't go through the lens of fact checking?
You see, I'm part of the community of people that do that stuff you just mentioned.
That do what exactly? Please, I would love you to.
It's called propaganda and stuff, right? For social media, there will be no curbing of giving out misinformation. Okay. Because people just want to make 80% of the time, and they just want to make content that will go viral. Okay, so they actually don't mean it. They actually don't mean it. Most of these things, most times, are not true. And if you check, sometimes there's a sense of real information in their misinformation, but sometimes it is coined in a way to show it off differently. Like this, I'm going back to this Steve stuff, because what really happened there was misinterpretation and westernization. For the Western community, saying it out as giving your wife as a means of entertainment, if you put it in that statement, it's very wrong.
Okay, so is the interpretation now that's the problem?
Yes.
Okay, because the culture of the people have it that a woman should take care of a guest.
Yes.
Right? But people misinterpret it when you maybe interpret it to the English context.
Exactly, the English context.
So it's now looking like something else.
It's now looking like something else. So if you put it in a statement, giving your wife out as entertainment, obviously it's wrong. Obviously, maybe in the thief community, saying it like that, they will know what it means. But someone that is an outsider coming to hear it in that statement, obviously is going to be wrong. So yeah, a lot of westernization has ruined a lot of cultures here and there for a lot of things, right? But that doesn't mean there is no way that you are going to curb out this thing.
But how do we keep the culture original without having infiltration of the Western culture that debases it?
Original would mean people know the culture. I went through primary school not knowing the Igbo culture, not knowing the Yoruba culture, not knowing the Hausa culture. We only learn as we go. Because
historically, they removed history from a curriculum.
So the people who would know much about these cultures are people who study history in university. We that we just went through secondary school, went through primary, secondary, and university, we didn't do anything related to history. We will not know these things. So anything we pick up from the internet is what we'll take home. So the most efficient way to curb out this thing is to let people know the basis of each culture. Now there's a saying that an Igbo person will never dobale completely to greet, right? But they will bow their head.
Definitely.
For a Yoruba person now, seeing this outside without knowing that this is their own
culture
will become an issue. Because if this person does not greet you properly, you
feel that it's disrespecting.
Exactly. But to them, just bowing their head
shows absolute sign of respect
for them. So I've met an Igbo person that said, okay, you have no business kneeling down to greet somebody but that's the person's perspective. No matter how you want to dispute that this thing you are doing is wrong, it is not wrong. To you, you might feel it's wrong, but to the culture of that person, that's what the person was trained with. This is the mentality the person came up with. So the best way to actually cover out this misinformation flying about, because anything someone sees now that looks controversial enough to make the rounds on internet will easily make the rounds on internet because people don't know these things. So the best way is to inform the people.
The best way is to inform the people. So what you are trying to say here is we should increase our awareness. There should be people, advocates of cultural orientation.
Advocates of culture is far. Let us put history in schools.
Okay, bring back history.
Yes, so as people are going through from primary, they are learning this about this culture. They are learning this about this culture. Not only focusing on their cultures alone. Even if you are focusing on your culture, you should have at least a good knowledge of how to treat a Yoruba person. You should have a good knowledge of how to treat an Igbo person. So when you come in contact with them in future, when they do some things, you will know that yes, this is in their culture. This is not wrong, because to you it feels wrong. It doesn't mean it's wrong, but this is in their culture and this is how they see it. So breeding up the younger generation in schools, knowing that this is this and that is that, will be very important to talk about this.
Very true. Reputation management is so very important, and I think the young people who are watching right now might take this home for free. This is more like a content delivery class. Where there are lots of things you can actually talk about on social media. I would love to believe that one of them should be possibly reorienting the people on the culture of where they come from and the culture of where other people come from, such that tolerance is observed in the lives of different individuals and the people from different ethnicity over other people from different ethnicities. Well, that's just about the time we have for today. David, thank you so very much for being here and making our weekend a very interesting one.
Thank you for having me.
We hope to see you next time, isn't it?
You see me next
time. That is if you are not busy or maybe a duty call takes you out of the country.
You see me next time by God's grace.
All right, beautiful. So David has promised us that he will be here next week if time permits to do some talking on the show today. Thank you so very much, people. We'd love to say thank you once more for being part of it. Please do well to follow us if you may. You can always read up on everything we've talked about today when you visit us at EnterpriseTVnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Igwebike, and on behalf of everyone from Enterprise Television, we'd love to say thank you and have yourself a splendid weekend. Bye-bye from us.